extreme church program accused of abusing kids with fight nights and shame in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. A handful of ex-interns of a youth training program at the Bethany Church in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, attested that the program was abnormally brutal. They described hellish conditions and alleged abuse at the hands of the Stockstill family, who have always run the organizations since the 1960s. The claims regarding the abuse include pastors forcing the teens to participate in fight nights and extreme physical exercise until some would vomit or soil themselves. Former interns also said that church owners would openly use the N-word and belittle Black interns as, quote, thugs. NBC News contacted these former interns on April 28th. On the same day, Jonathan Stockstill addressed the accusations and posted a public apology on his own Facebook page. Jonathan Stockstill, the current leader of the church, was fully aware of the abuse, yet did nothing to resolve it. Several students created a community among themselves where they can shed light on the abuses they endured in the program. So, for a little bit of background, this was part of a youth training program that was facilitated by what is now a very big mega church in the Louisiana in the state of Louisiana. They have several campuses. They have several thousand members. And it was a program called either like 220I or just 220. I've heard it referred both ways. But basically, it was this program to kind of like train teenagers to be ministers. So it's like a school, well, not even a school. It's a 10-month program that would put teenagers to be, as you see here, quote, minister material, transformed into minister material, and teaching them these skills, which are, very few of them are actually applicable outside of a church context. I think it's setting people up for failure. And in this setting of this 10-month program, people experienced a lot of abuse in numerous ways. And people who were basically forced to leave the program because they weren't doing well enough or they weren't complying, they were thrown out. And this was seen as deeply shameful, like you were being excommunicated, which in turn enforced the belief in other people that they had to do everything that they could to stay. So it was a really abusive environment, and I thought it was awesome that I found out about this through NBC News. They did a big feature story on this, but I'll let you guys give your commentary.
Wait, can this be blamed on Christianity or just bad people being bad regardless of religion?
Wait, I think they use a lot of Christianity to validate their behavior, because this article does talk about the really derogatory language that they would use towards gay people, and that they would use this to demean participants who they suspected of being gay. So that's one clue right there. And then so there were brothers who are involved in this at a high level. And they say that it's one of the brothers, Joel, who was kind of the ringleader of this specific program of the church. And he's found in videos saying, the Lord has given me the creative ability for servanthood and discipline. And he added, I have supernatural creative ideas on how to administer the rod of brokenness on the backside of a foolish intern. So he is using this language like he has been spiritually and religiously given this gift of this being able to punish people for their wrong things.
And Armin, he does use the words that they talk about homosexuality in particular as unclean, unholy, and demonic, like demons. So those are all religious language.
Yeah, but true. But like a Christian could come on, if I want to put my Christian hat on, I would say like, well, these are clearly not very Jesus-like at all. Jesus, like you atheists, just like find every time like a Christian or a church does something bad, you guys just so excited, just want to jump on that. You just want to use every excuse to attack Christianity. Obviously, this is not Christianity. Jesus, was very kind to sinners. Jesus was actually hung out with sinners more than anyone else. He was never like this to people who were like, just because somebody is like lost their way, that doesn't mean that you're in Christianity you have a right to be abusive to them. In fact, you have to love them even more. So this is not Christianity, and you guys are just using this as an opportunity to spread your hatred for religion. There, how do you respond to that, Rivka?
Jesus said he comes with a sword, not in peace. Okay, so that'd be one response. And then also,
the sword of love.
I don't come in peace, I come with the sword. But anyways, I think this is also another example of something that we've talked about, which does relate to religion, whether it's Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, whatever, Zoroastrian, whatever religion you want to, is people allowing people who don't have training, who are undeserved, giving them the authority to take care of children because they're religious. So therefore people have this idea that, well, if it's a religious group, then that means the people who are in a loco parentis are trained, they have the right authority, they have the understanding that's needed, all of these things. But in actuality, again, we see children being harmed because they're put in the care of people who don't necessarily deserve the trust and the authority that's given to them. And so these people have a duty of care to these young people, and they are not at all acting in what a lot of people within the bounds of the law might even consider, as duty of care.
Rabid Atheist is kind of bringing up a similar point, saying it's a ministry training program. It has all the aspects of using one's religious position to engage in abuse as well as religious language. But to something that is more specifically textual, one woman interviewed said that she was compelled to, quote, rescue her daughter from the program. At first, everything seemed okay. And what I learned later on was that they were told not to rely on their family, that they were their new family, which is specifically biblical. It's specifically biblical to say that you have to be willing to give up your family for the sake of Christ. You have to be, this is your new family. And so I'm like, oh, well, that sounds familiar.
It's also a big cult and brainwashing technique, whether it's a religious group or not, to tell people that you can't trust your family, that we're the only ones who are your real family, we're the only ones who care about you. So aside from the religiosity, and to your point, it also has a very cultish brainwashing type veneer to it.
100%. And yeah, just a lot of the practices, like forcing teens to participate in these fight nights where they fought often until they were bloodied and injured. Then they were taught the ways of the cross, or the stations of the cross, is what I would call it as a Catholic, which for those who are not aware, in the story traditionally, there are these 12 stations or 12 steps that Jesus took upon his journey to become crucified, including falling several times and getting back up. There's a shroud, and they're very specific actions. So they were taught to go through the stations of the cross through boot camp tactics. They were extremely physical, where they would sometimes be vomiting and soiling themselves. It sounds like the SEALs training program, where they had to haul heavy logs on, like, to the point of exhaustion while dehydrated under very extreme heat.
Wait, cross as in like Jesus carrying the cross, or CrossFit?
Like, no, as in like the thing that you get nailed to.
Dragging it down the Villa de Rosa.
There's an opportunity of branding CrossFit with Jesus carrying the cross. I don't know if somebody was going to do that.
No, I've seen a comedy sketch of crucifix CrossFit. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's
The
pretty
guy
funny.
running upstairs with a crucifix on his back.
Wait, there might be a trademark. I don't know if CrossFit has been trademarked. There might be a trademark violation there. Okay, so
but it was satire.
Yeah, I know. Here's the thing. I want you to read Secular Rarity's comment here, because I think this is what it comes down to.
Yes, Secular Rarity is saying, boom, again, people are allowed to take care of children or provide mental health therapy because they are, quote, good, godly people, and literally nothing else. No training, no proof.
No license, no nothing. So here's the thing. This is when it comes to children being harmed, this is the indirect way that children in religious institutions become victims of harm. Not often not because anything directly allowed or promoted in the scripture, right? Sometimes that's true as well, right? So for example, biblical teaching teaches you that you could like hit children, or Islamic teaching has very low ages for when you could, I don't know, I can't even say on YouTube. So that's Islamic teaching, and you have Christian teachings. So sometimes it's directly something within scripture that actually puts children in harm's way. But very often, most of the time, it's just, it doesn't really matter what the scripture says. It's just what the environment that religion creates. And with this creation of this undeserved trust in a form of authority, and these people that are supposed to be a very clean, moral, goody two-shoe people, and that parents trust these people because they're men of God, because they are trusted with children, people that do not deserve to be trusted with children through religion, whatever the religion is, whatever the teaching of the religion is, whatever, it doesn't really matter. The fact that that religion makes some people godly people that parents trust their children with like, usually in other institutions that are not religious, they're not perfect, but they have on average much better standards and barriers that people have to go through to somehow signal to society that, yeah, we have the expertise and also some background in that are signaling to you that you could give your children to us to teach and take care of. There's some, again, that's not perfect, that misfires sometimes as well, but it is much better than the fact like, oh yeah, we memorize text from Bronze Ages, so I guess give us your children, right? And we're connected to a divine source of authority, therefore of course we're not going to harm your children, right? So, and parents, because the parents have been brainwashed into that ancient ideology, they were like, of course these are men of God, here, have my kids. So that's that environment that religion creates, puts children in harm's way, usually independent from what the scripture actually teaches. Suze?
Totally. Secular Rarity is making sure that we know that boom was for Rivka, by the way, with some heart eyes emoji. So Rivka, I think you have a secret admirer. And also, this made me laugh. Armin's new workout routine is the crucifix CrossFit. You gotta love it. But are we ready for the next news? Oh, Rivka, you're muted.
Rivka, you say.
I was just going to say, Armin needs to get those Messiah gains.
I don't know what that means, but okay. What does that mean?
I'm here for it.
Okay.
Hey guys, if you're a fan of Blasphemy and Sexy Callie, like me, then you need to be sure to subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description below. Because if you subscribe, we will send you a free copy of our Blasphemous Art ebook. And let me tell you, it is the tastiest blasphemy that you can find anywhere available today. And we are so generous with our blasphemy that we continue to send you more blasphemy every week. So make sure to subscribe, link in the description below.